Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moonmothgoddess Tarot. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Your continued love and support here on the channel. So, today's pick a card reading, we are going to be doing Have You Already Met the One? And the one being the person that you are meant to be with in a relationship with. Okay, so have you already met the one? And I've already pre-shuffled some oracle cards to kind of give us some clues if you have or not. If the answer is no, we're going to be looking at when will you meet this person and who they will be. If the answer is yes, that you already have met the person, again, we're going to be looking at who are they, and then also when you're going to connect with that person, okay? Maybe how you might know them, we'll kind of see when we get there. Sometimes, we do meet people in life and we may not necessarily be connecting with them romantically. They could be a friend, they could be a neighbor, they could be really anybody, a coworker, and you could meet that person. But then maybe at that time in your life, people are on two different paths, and then maybe potentially reconnecting later, or it could even be a current situation that you have ongoing right now, and spirit's giving you some clues about that person being the one that you are meant to be with. Now, what I do want to say with that, going into this question, it is a general reading. If you do want something more specific to you and your energy, I'm more than happy to do a private reading for you guys to help you with finding out that information. You can find my email in the description box, or you can send me an email and I will provide you with more information on booking readings as well as other services that I do provide. But what I wanted to say is that, and just kind of give you guys a little bit of an example here. My husband, who I am married to right now, we've been married for almost 9 years. He is marriage number 2 for me, but I met him in school when I was young. We've known each other since we were about, I want to say about 13 years old. Went through all the way through junior high and high school together, and I never talked to him at all. We never talked to each other during those years, and it wasn't until I was 39 years old, okay, 39 years old, where we connected on Facebook. And now we're married, okay? So sometimes, things happen and it just kind of works out that way. And I know sometimes that when we do have that question, like, okay, well, if I already know who this person is, why aren't we together right now? Or why can't we be together right now? And that's where divine timing comes in, okay? Because if I think back to my own past and where my life kind of took me and his life took him in a different direction, that's just the way it plays out. Okay, so we definitely were not ready for each other at that time, during those years. And universe just kind of aligns people in that way. I have had clients in the past where we have looked into future partner readings and asking, do I know who this person is already? And then the client wants to know, okay, well, why can't I just be with this person right now? And sometimes it's not a need to force the situation. It's more or less needing to let things unfold, in divine timing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So have you already met the one? If not, we're going to see when might that happen for you, who they are, try to get some details. If you do, and you have already met this person, who are they? Where are they kind of showing up in your life? And when will you guys connect with each other in terms of maybe relationship or something like that? We'll look at the details a little bit later. So we do have 3 choices for you guys today. For pile number 1, you are going to be this Prehnite crystal. So Prehnite for pile number 1. For pile 2, and this is an obsidian, and I can't remember what the exact name of it, but it's a very light yellow color. So we're just going to call it the yellow obsidian. This is a man-made crystal. Okay, so group number 3, you are going to be, why am I forgetting the name of this right now? Is it citrine? I can't remember. We have this, oh, it's orange calcite. There we go. Orange calcite is going to be for group 3. So orange calcite for group number 3. Okay, so those are your choices. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to sit with the crystals, meditate again on the question, have you already met the one? Hi, Pile 1. So those of you that resonated with the Prehnite crystal, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out, have you already met the one that you're meant to be with? Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle cards. We have card number 19. Express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. We have love. And then we have farm to table, number 18. It says, liberate yourself from influence and invoke the power within. Okay. Now let's pull some tarot here. Express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. All right, let's pull the tarot. So has pile number 1 already met the one that they are meant to be with? Has pile number 1 already met the one? Ooh, 6 of Cups. And the 9 of Swords. Has group number 1 already met the one they are meant to be with? The 8 of Wands. The 4 of Cups. The 7 of Wands. And the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel like the answer is yes. The answer is yes. For some of you, this is a person. Some of you, okay, we'll start with this. Some of you, I feel like you know, intuitively you have a feeling. But some of you, with the 4 of Cups being here, this can be a card about being distracted or ignoring something, or like something's right under our nose. And This energy right here, the small token of love can convey great appreciation. This almost makes me feel like the act of reaching out, messaging, or sharing with someone how you feel to kind of start something there. Liberate yourself from influence and invoke the power within. Maybe for some of you, it's confidence with not letting the opinions of other people to get involved, or even releasing yourself from fears, insecurities surrounding your connection with this person. So some of you, I feel like there might be some challenges here, okay? There might be some challenges for you and this person, or maybe have been, because I do feel like you already know who this person is. We have the Six of Cups here, and the Six of Cups can be a card about nostalgia, about past memories, past connections. The Six of Cups can be a soulmate or soul bond type of connection. It can be a person that we've known in our early years, during childhood, or during, maybe like our first love or something of that nature. And here in this love card, I think this is like the Three Fates here. Invoke the power within. Almost like you're drawing this in, manifesting. And look at the way that looks like she's got, it almost kind of looks like the violet flame. She's got like a piece of amethyst here at her heart center with flame around it. And it's kind of sending out all these wands. So some of you might be feeling, you could be dealing with some challenges with this person. The Four of Cups can also talk about rejection. So maybe like a person who isn't emotionally available, maybe at present, okay? And this is, if you missed it in the intro, I was talking about how my husband, who I'm married to right now, we've been together almost 9 years, and I've known him since childhood, but we never connected. I didn't start to get involved with him until I was 39 years old. I'm going to be 48 this year, but not until I was 39. And we both had, two very different paths, directions in life, and we were certainly not ready for each other. Okay? So everything happens in divine timing. So this kind of makes me feel that maybe some of you may have connected with this person in the past, and maybe it didn't work out, or maybe there was maybe a person who wasn't available at the time, or let maybe some fears or insecurities kind of get in the way or create challenges for you or the other person. Maybe a person, it kind of makes me feel like a person who maybe was emotionally unavailable, maybe going through something in their life where things just weren't aligning yet. And there might even be a little bit of anxiety here surrounding if you're going to reconnect with that person in the future, because the Six of Cups can also talk about reunion, a reunion of souls. It could even be a person who's a friend, does not necessarily have to be romantic. Okay? With my husband, I didn't have anything romantic to do with him at all during high school. We weren't even friends. We were just classmates. We had classes together, and that was it. We didn't talk to each other. But we do have the Ten of Pentacles energy here. Some of you might know this person through family or family friends, or even your friends, even through a sibling. Like if a sibling introduced you to their friend or something like that, This could have to do with family, friends, or a past love connection. I am seeing justice here at the bottom as well. And justice can be about contracts, specifically for some of you, marital contracts. So this could very well be the person that you do end up marrying. Okay. Um, so I feel like the answer is yes. Okay. You do know this person. And maybe for some of you you're not together right now, because this makes me feel that maybe there hasn't been an expression of interest, or maybe a need for reconnecting and building something. A small token of love can convey a great appreciation. So maybe, and the Six of Cups, interestingly, is also about gifts. So perhaps this is someone who's gifted something to you in the past, or has shared something with you, or someone that you've shared something with. A friendship, a bond, an emotional connection, memories, a person that you share memories with. Maybe a person who was there for you in the past when you were, feeling sad about something or going through something emotionally. So we do have, yes, we've got Libra energy here. I'm going to clarify a little bit more. Some of you, this could be an air sign. I'm seeing King of Swords is here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And right underneath that, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow-moving energy, and look how there's like these little stones that are taking like this long path up and around the mountain to the top. So maybe some of you might not connect, kind of like similar to my story, where you connect with this person later. But this even gives me this element here of the Seven of Wands here, because this is about facing challenge, adversity, and persevering through it. And here we have this big mountain that's covered in snow and clouds, and maybe this means that things were unclear with this person, or maybe there's certain obstacles in the way right now that may seem insurmountable. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So yeah, maybe for some of you, this is a meeting with this person a little later. Okay. Yeah, we've got the Ten of Wands and the Hierophant here, and the Four of Wands. And here's the Queen of Swords. Wow. Those are counterparts there. The Wheel of Fortune is right underneath that. Yeah. So the answer is yes. Like I said, many of you, this is going to be the person that you do end up marrying here. Now, we do have this Ten of Wands here, right? We got a close-up of her. We could imagine scaling that mountain there, carrying all of these wands here. And the Ten of Wands is when we're being weighed down. Maybe by challenges, responsibilities, other things kind of going on in life. Being that you do know this person already, perhaps there was obstacles that made things very difficult for you and this person. Yeah, we've got Taurus energy here, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. So I want to... What do I want to do? The Wheel of Fortune is also about divine timing. So can the Justice card be. Both about divine timing. This is life partner with the Ten of Pentacles. Long-term life partner. I do feel like this person is someone who is very intelligent, okay? Very well-spoken, has a great sense of humor. They might be a very traditional type of person, okay, with the Hierophant energy being here. They might come across as, for some of you, maybe the very intellectual type, a person who has They might be like a natural teacher when they speak, when they communicate. They're the type of person who's very direct, very blunt, okay? They're very straight out. And sometimes, you know, the honesty, the bluntness could be something that if you do have a very fragile ego, their words might be something that catch you off guard or that could hurt because they're so straightforward, they're so direct, but they're very honest with the Justice card here. The Hierophant can also be a person who is very wise, who is very knowledgeable. They could be a person who's very well educated, even very successful. They could be a person who, like, when you meet them, they already have their own home. They already have. So for some of you, this could be a person who's gone through divorce or who has a family, children already, or has been previously married. Okay. Not for all of you, but I'm definitely getting that energy here. They're a person who does have a good sense of humor. Some of you, this person might be someone who has a little bit more of a dry, they could be very serious, okay? They're very business minded. They're very good at analyzing information. They're very good at communication, okay? They could be someone who is really good. They could be law enforcement, military background, a person who is a teacher, a person who's really good with electronics, computer technology, writing, speaking, anything having to do with communications. They could be a person who's very religious or very spiritual. They could have also be a person who's, I want to say, has very strong boundaries. Okay, they will let you know. They're not going to be, they're not going to take anything from anyone. They've got some very strong boundaries. They're going to tell you like it is. What else with this person? They're very good at planning. They like security and stability. They might be the type of person that has very old-fashioned values and, like I said, very traditional. Family could be something that's very important to this person. Their family, their friends, the people that are close to them. They're very protective. They could be a person who, if they are challenged in some regard, they're not going to let that obstacle or that challenge stop them. They're going to persevere. I will say what I'm kind of getting from this person's energy is that they can be very sweet and very loving and very nurturing. But at the same time, they could be someone who, when they are going through something, especially something emotional, they might be the person who hides a lot of that. So you might not see a lot of, I want to say, a lot of the internal struggles or challenges that they could be going through emotionally. It could be hard for them to really kind of open up and express heart, feelings, emotions, things of that nature. They might have other ways of showing to you that they like you or they love you or they're interested in you. They might be a little bit hard to read. What else? I feel like I feel like the chemistry between the two of you is fire, okay? You and this person can have long conversations, and just kind of connect with each other and both you and this person might like to share, information and talk to each other a lot. I do want to clarify the Six of Cups here. clarify the Six of Cups, the World, the Nine of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, so some of you may not be together right now, and you do. You know that person from the past. Some of you, this could have been a person who, when you met in the past, they weren't ready. Okay. They could have been going through some difficulties, financial difficulties, some type of hardship, or some type of really life-challenging things. They may have not been ready. There could have been some insecurities there in the past here. What else do I want to see? So some of you, this could have been like a connection that you've ended, okay? That you have ended. Meaning a relationship from the past. Parted ways or disconnected over time and years. I feel like this connection is very healing, or will be. A lot of healing that's taking place. I even feel that maybe both of you could even come into this connection as both being a little bit guarded. There might be fears of rejection or abandonment here. Some self-worth issues that could be apparent that need to be healed. I feel like you and this person will both, if not already, will teach each other a lot. There's a lot of karmic clearing here, patterns, cycles, which could present to be a little challenging, okay? However, I feel like Spirit's saying here that even with that, both you and this person will find resilience within the self and kind of like come back as stronger, better versions of self. Some of you, this person could live around like your childhood home, or maybe like if you've moved away from home and you live like in a completely different place now and you've lost touch with this person. That could be a situation here as well. Okay, let's ask Spirit here. When are you going to, for some of you, you could already still be talking to this person. You know exactly who they are. But for those of you who have lost touch with this person, I want to ask Spirit here, when are you going to reconnect with them? When will group number 1 connect? Wow, we got the 10 of Cups. She's wearing a bathing suit, but she kind of looks like she's not. So I'm just going to cover her just to be safe. 10 of Cups. Some of you, again, we're getting this element here of friends, of family. Here, they're all kind of like swimming together, holding hands. The Chariot. For somebody, there could be some travel that's involved here. Relocation even. Ten of Swords. Some of you, there is a need for healing, okay? This may be a healing that you're doing before you reconnect with this person, or healing that they are doing. Because the Chariot is about the balancing of two opposing forces of energy, right? Meaning that you and this person have to align with each other in a balanced way in order to be successful, to move forward. It's about willpower and determination, you know, to both come together and say, okay, I see that we're having challenges here, but we're both willing to persevere through them or beyond them, even healing together. Okay. When will group 1 connect with this person? The Knight of Swords. We've got Cancer energy here as well. The Six of Swords. You know, the Six of Swords is a card of transition. A card of moving on, the rites of passage. So perhaps for some of you, you and this other person could be going through something right now, a period of healing, of releasing things in your life, especially if you and this person are in other connections right now, or going through a period of healing. Some of you, I'm getting, you know, that this, okay, because we have the Nine of Cups at the bottom. Can I put her out here? I need to cover her up a little bit. The Nine of Cups is here. And the Three of Wands. Some of you, I feel like, of course, general reading. Some of you, it's going to happen a lot quicker. I feel like within it's the near future here. It's on the horizon is what Spirit's saying. It's coming towards you. Some of you, it's going to be the next 9 to 10 months when you could be reconnecting with this person. Some of you might have like a travel plan coming up. Maybe to see family, with friends, or even thinking about relocating somewhere. And this could be something that quickly takes place after this move. It could be that you make plans to travel and see family or friends, or to even meet up with this person. So some of you, I feel like it's going to happen a little faster than others. Some of you, I'm kind of getting here 6 to 10 days or weeks when you guys could be talking to or communicating with this person. Others, I'm seeing this happening and right now we're in 2025. Okay. What is today? Today is the 7th, May 7th of 2025. Some of you, I'm seeing that this is happening by the year 2027. Okay, when you will be reconnecting with this person. Some of you, this could be something that's taking place by Cancer season, and Cancer season does start in June. Okay, that would more or less probably be the faster energy here. June, it starts in June. Next month is June. Okay. June and July is Cancer season. Some of you, you are at a distance from this person right now. Okay. Meaning that maybe the two of you live in 2 different places, 2 different states, 2 different cities, 2 different countries. And there can be some kind of plan here or communication surrounding traveling to see each other, to reconnect with each other, or just kind of, you know, while let's just say you're a person who goes to a family reunion. Okay. In the family reunion, you've got family there, friends there, and mom and dad are like, hey, I introduced, or I invited this person and that person. Do you remember them? It's kind of like that kind of energy here where family and friends are kind of coming together, or even some kind of reunion here, some type of party, even a celebration, going to somebody's wedding. Like, let's just say if you go to your friend's wedding and you go back home, and there you go. Meeting people that way. A party, a celebration, a reunion, an outdoor event, something that involves family, friends, old classmates, things of that nature. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you. We have the Seven of Pentacles here at the bottom. Now, Seven of Pentacles can be about delays, setbacks, feeling a little frustrated because something hasn't happened yet. And maybe for those of you where it's a little bit further out, this is where Spirit's saying be patient, okay? When you think about the timing, remember what I've said about my story, okay? We weren't ready for each other before. We had to wait until I was, 39 years old to get done with all my drama in my life, to be ready for that. I wasn't ready mentally, emotionally to receive. I needed to heal. I really needed to heal. He needed to heal. We're still healing. But the bulk of all that, was stuff that we needed to do separately. We needed to, figure things out and figure life out and make changes and be better people. And so trust the way that the universe kind of works things out. Okay, keep on to that, and, be patient, be open to receive. Like I said, maybe some of you, this is where Spirit is kind of encouraging you that if there is somebody from your past that you feel especially drawn to, that you come forward and you say something, express yourself in some way, and, trust in that. Okay. All right. So that is all that I have for you, group 1. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, Pile 2. So those of you that resonated with this little lemon yellow colored obsidian, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out, have you already met the one? The one being the person that you're meant to be with. If not, we're going to ask Spirit when and who they are. If the answer is yes, who are they? So that you can identify them. And then when will you connect with them? Okay. Some of you might already be, who knows, maybe talking to the person. You might already be involved, or they could have been someone from your past. So we'll see what comes through for you, group 2. We have take a chance on love. When we love, our lives are changed forever. And this is number 23. Maybe that could be symbolic for some of you, the number 23. We have number 3, bushels of apples. And it says, invite your truth forward and invoke the power of healing, growth, and the true essence of who you are. Okay. And we have authentic. This is already kind of giving me a feeling of what the answer is, but I want to pull the tarot just to make sure. Okay, group 2. Have you already met the one you are meant to be with? Have you already met the one that you are meant to be with? Four of Swords. Two of Wands. Five of Cups. Okay, so yeah, this is confirming what I was feeling. I was going to say no. Six of Swords. The Death card. And the Hangman. Okay, so the answer is no. You have not met the person that you're meant to be with. I feel like what Spirit is showing me here is that although maybe what you have gone through in the past, or even that what you could be dealing with currently, emotionally, mentally, all of this has been something, as discouraging as it might seem, and we've all been there, we've all been hurt, we've all gone through challenges with relationships, and they're painful when we go through them. But all of this is helping you with your personal development as a person. It's helping you to heal, to grow, to evolve, and to align your energy with the person that you're meant to be with. Okay? There's a lot of healing that's taking place here, a lot of transformation, a lot of changing of perspectives and limiting beliefs surrounding love. And you might feel very discouraged and disappointed because maybe there are certain situations that you go through where you are experiencing the pain of grief and loss and, regrets and guilt and remorse and, things that didn't work out, and still recovering from that, healing, losing people that leave your life. The Six of Swords is a card of the rites of passage. And so in some way, these are things that we go through, like I said, that help us to achieve where we're meant to be. And as I'm looking at this card here, there's a doorway down here, down this path, and there's two people that are walking together towards that doorway. And it's kind of like it's this transition period. The Death card is about change, endings, transformation. Okay. And here we have the bushels of apples, the number 3. Invite your truth forward and invoke the power of healing, growth, and the true essence of who you are. And authentic is here, right? So this may also be as you're going through these things that are painful and sitting with that pain. There's a lot that pain can teach us about ourselves, about relationships, about other people, what we want, what we don't want. And we also learn with the Hangman here about surrender, about letting go, about sacrifices that we've made, that others have made, or that we need to make when it comes to love. We might even reflect upon parts of ourselves that we have lost through those experiences that we've gone through. The Four of Swords is healing, meditation, reflection, taking a pause, taking a break, especially after going through something with that Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups energy, we can sometimes lose ourselves, right, in certain connections and feel very sad, very depressed. And we might even get to that place where we start to feel hopeless, that love is never going to happen. And we might even vow that if as bad as we've been hurt before, that we're never going to love again, that we're never going to find someone again, that no one's going to love us, and have all these different beliefs about love. And so I feel, and I'm noticing how there's these two girls here and they're collecting apples, right, from the apple tree. And there's like a butterfly that's around this one here, which to me is that symbol of transformation. But she's also climbing a ladder there to pick apples to put them into her basket to collect them. And so apples are also a symbol of wisdom, And so I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that you are gaining as you go through the experience. And all of these things help you to discover who you are and who you're not. taking a chance on love. When we love, our lives are changed forever. And for some of you, this could be opening yourself up again to love. With the number 23, this gives me High Priestess and Empress energy. The number 3 is the Empress. Some of you are working on self-love, learning to learn what your worth is and what your value is when it comes to connections. And sometimes that process can be painful. Learning to love yourself again, even after heartbreak. Learning to feel attractive, desirable, beautiful. You know, and that journey can sometimes be a long one. You know, when we're open to receive love versus pushing it away. The Two of Wands is about being at a crossroads. It's also about contemplating. I'm kind of seeing this as on your choices and what you've chosen for yourself, what you chose to allow into your life, what you choose to no longer be a part of. Okay. But all of this with the Hangman here, which is a very spiritual energy, this gives us enlightenment. It enlightens us, right? The wisdom that we gain, because we see things in a very different way. And sometimes the perspectives that we shift into can be negative ones, where we start to believe that, like I said, love is not going to happen, or things of that nature. We believe that we're unlovable or unworthy. And so I feel for many of you that did choose this pile, maybe love life has been challenging, you know, and you might find yourself in situations where you're forced to move on, or, you know, people are leaving your life. Connections are temporary, ones that are not staying. And a lot of this can be some very powerful but also challenging lessons that we experience. And so we can start to look at ourselves and what energy we are contributing into relationships, what kind of mindsets we're coming into it, what kind of baggage or we might be bringing in, if we're still holding on to pain and resentment and anger, trust issues, right? It gives us a chance to kind of look at all of that and lay it out on the table and work through those things and make different choices moving forward, because we're that much wiser and we have that much more discernment. Okay? So, like I said, I feel like the answer is no. We do have Pisces and Scorpio energy here. So what I want to do now is I want to ask Spirit, when some of you might have issues with codependency, attachment issues, issues with letting go, okay? Meaning that we're trying to cling or hold on to people that are not meant for us. I'm even kind of feeling connections that don't make it past a certain stage, like where you're trying to connect with somebody, trying to collaborate with them, trying to build with them, and it kind of gets stuck and it doesn't evolve. And we might have this thing where we're seeking validation, seeking approval, seeking recognition. We might be placing our worth into someone else's hands. And this is about you needing to see the worth within yourself and not needing to force situations or to hold on to situations that are not meant for you. Okay. Maybe even connections that we could be in denial over. And keep telling ourselves, like, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. Keep holding on. When really it's something that we're meant to let go of. Okay. So I want to ask Spirit here, when, and like I said, there is some healing that needs to happen. Self-discovery, learning to love yourself. So a lot of this, of the timing, is also up to you. It's when you're ready. Okay. When you believe that you are worthy of receiving. When you're ready to take a chance and be vulnerable again after heartbreak. Okay, so let's ask Spirit here first. When will you meet the one? When? I feel many of you right now are kind of going through some lessons, okay? Not that the lessons are going to stop, right? Even if you meet the one, because those will be different challenges. When you meet the right person for you, that gives you time to unpack your bags, right? Your baggage that you bring in, because we all do it. We all have baggage, where you can unpack your bags with that person and you both help each other to unpack your bags. Or you do your healing first so that you're not bringing that in, but the other person might have some bags to unpack, and you could be that support for them as well as they can be that support for you. Or you let your baggage become an obstacle and it's something that you cannot get past, and it becomes something that makes it difficult for you to be able to maintain a healthy, balanced, stable, secure relationship. So let's ask Spirit here, pile 2, when will you meet the one? But I do feel like a lot of this is up to you when you're ready energetically. Some of you have already been doing your healing, and you could still be working on limiting mindsets that are keeping you from connecting. You could be attracting still people from that wounded energy, and the healed version of you is going to attract or be attracted to very different people. Group 2, when will you meet the one? When will you meet the one, group 2? The Queen of Wands, which is a beautiful energy. The Queen of Wands is about confidence, sensuality, passion, desire. It's a very confident energy, okay? So this can be working on feeling attractive and being magnetic. This could be when you've worked on your self-esteem, when you know what you want in life. From a partner, you feel confident in yourself enough to know that you're going to get it, you're going to have it, and you're not going to stop and allow yourself to be distracted with people who are not in alignment with you. It's not going to look good to you anymore, right? All that old stuff you've put up with. When the 7 of Swords. Yeah, some of you might have some insecurities, some betrayal wounds, trust issues that you have to heal and work on. We have the 2 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and wow, and the Tower. Okay. So the Tower is something that happens very unexpectedly. It's kind of like when we least expect it, okay? This Tower is divine intervention. The Tower is also helping us to release, let go, break down false versions of self, false realities that we have created around certain people that are deceiving us, or we could be deceiving ourselves. Okay, so if you're still, say, like holding on to a person who really in your own intuition, it's not for you. The situation's not for you. Your intuition and your ego could certainly be in disagreement, especially if you have like an ex-partner or, a person that you're still holding on to from the past, and your intuition is saying, hey, let's move on. And the ego's like, but no, I love this person. I want this to work. And you keep noticing that there's Tower moments that kind of happen over and over and over again to kind of let you to let go and to release and to redirect you. But others of you, this could be a situation where, the healing is something that does need to take place. Trust issues, betrayal wounds. The 7 of Swords could be dealing with people who are being sneaky, who are being deceptive, who are cheating, lying, trying to get away with stuff. And this is about you also learning how to spot the illusion, right? When people are lying, when people are being manipulative, when people are trying to trick you and distract you into thinking that it's love, or that there's empty promises or things like that. You become clear, you become a lot more wise. Okay? So again, the Tower is something that happens very unexpectedly. Okay? which could be a very serendipitous meeting between you and another person. And what I'm seeing here with the Two of Cups and Ten of Pentacles is beautiful. It's a soulmate. So essentially, when you help to break down and release these insecurities, these fears, do this healing, the Ace of Cups, I'm seeing at the bottom. This is going to be helping you with healing, self-love, emotional release. Ace of Cups is also another opportunity in love. Now, some of you, like I said, you're a little bit further along in your healing and where you're at energetically and ready. Some of you, this might be something that happens in the next 1 to 2 months. Okay. We do have the Eight of Pentacles energy here and the Three of Cups. So some of you are needing to spend this time with this Eight of Pentacles energy. It's about self-mastery. It's about working on yourself, focusing on yourself. Okay. Surrounding yourself with people that are positive, that are uplifting, that are supportive. Some of you, I feel like you will be meeting this person potentially through friends, family, or even work. Okay. Friends, family, work. It could even be when you're taking a class, because the Eight of Pentacles can even be about hobbies, skills, talents. So like if you have like a hobby that, or a class that you want to take with your friends, and then you're at that class and then you end up meeting someone there. Okay. Some of you, I don't feel like this is going to happen. And I know sometimes the numbers get a little bit discouraging because we might be like, wow, this feels like it's taking forever. But some of you might be a little bit younger and might have some things to go through karmically that are going to help you to be and become that next level, better version of self as you're spending that time alone, or, you know, focused on your career and other things in life. And love might be something that's on the back burner, where this card up here that says take a chance on love, where if you put other things first, like your goals, your dreams, nothing wrong with that, you know, get that money, get that career, get yourself secure, buy your house, whatever you feel like you're being guided to do at that time. But some of you, this might not be something that happens until 2008 to 2010. Okay. And this may be when you're a lot more established in life, when you've got a good amount of career, financial security, and stability. Okay. This is a timeless reading. So of course, many of you might be watching this reading in 2008, 2010. I'm sorry, not 2008, 2010, 2028. Okay. 2000, wait a minute. Hold on a second. That would be 2028. Okay. And the year 2030. That seems so far off, but 2030. Okay. I'm still thinking we're in the 2000s, in the early 2000s. Yeah. So yes, 2028 to 2030. Okay. Some of you, we could even look at it in terms of the next 8 to 10 years. Okay. But some of you, I feel like it's going to happen a lot faster. Some of you, I feel like, though, your focus, I mean, you could be in school. You could be in school right now and be in your early 20s, and the person that you meet in your 30s, you know, where you're ready to settle down. You've got, you know, your career together, and that might be the appropriate age, you know, for you, which is not, you know, out of the ordinary. You know, my first marriage, I got married to my first husband. He was the father of my children. I was with him since I was 15, and I got married at, I think I was 19 years old. And I was in that marriage for 20 years. Together with that person for 20 years, you know. And then that marriage came to an end, and I didn't connect with my second husband until I was 39. And that's when I got remarried at 39 years old. Okay. The first marriage I had was definitely karmic. Okay. Definitely karmic. Yeah. So sometimes it's just the way that things work out. And I know sometimes some of you go through multiple marriages, you know, where sometimes you do end up marrying a person when you're really young, and it just like you grow into two different people. You know, again, because we didn't really take that time to get to know ourselves and who we are even as a person. And then you start to grow apart, you know, and things don't work out. And that's, you know, kind of what happened in my situation too. So, but yes, I feel like for some of you, it's going to be quick, a lot quicker, because some of you might already be at that place where you've been long doing the healing and the working on yourself, and you are getting to that place where you are ready. And it may just be about taking that leap of faith and putting yourself out there again, you know, with all the work that you've done on yourself, and you say, okay, I'm ready to do this. You know, many of you are kind of going through this whole rebirth process. I'm seeing the Judgment card at the bottom. Some of you, this person could be a fire sign, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We've also got Scorpio energy here. Yeah. We've got Judgment and the Lovers. And I'm seeing this star here. I have to cover it up a little bit. The star is at the bottom. We've also got Gemini and Aquarius. Some of you are manifesting right now. You have been manifesting love into your life. And again, this is going to happen when you are ready energetically. I'm seeing the Magician and the Queen of Cups at the bottom, and I have to cover her a little. So we've got Virgo energy here as well. Yeah, the Lovers is a divinely guided union. The star is about having hope, trusting, having faith, believing that this will happen for you, right? And like I said, maybe if some of you are feeling very discouraged and feeling like it's not going to happen, that way of thinking creates resistance. Okay? Because we're all energy, we all carry a vibration, okay? So the vibration of your person, right, is, let's just say that it's like this wave, right? This wave of a frequency. It's beautiful. And then when we put out a negative energy, pain, suffering, or any lower frequency energies like pain, suffering, resentment, anger, it's a different energy, okay? So you have to be an energetic match for that, for love, for receiving love. If we have got trust issues, if we've got, you know, insecurities, we can certainly manifest love from that space. However, you're going to be attracting, again, like I said earlier, people from the wounded energy, right? They might be people who are just as wounded as you, just as emotionally unavailable as you, just as, you know, much in the grief process over past heartbreak as you are. And it will be very challenging for, again, we've got baggage that we're bringing in, and perhaps the two of you might not have the skills to be supportive of one another as you try to unpack each other's bags. Okay? There could become obstacles where you're just like, I don't like what you got in your bag. And your person's like, I don't like what you got in your bag either, and I don't know what to do with it. So we might not be ready, right? Sometimes it's where we have to just kind of part ways from something that's not working. And, you know, sometimes we might even meet people where we are a lot more healed than they are. And, you know, they're not ready to do the work. They run away, they avoid, or, you know, and you have a choice then. You know, if you meet this person that you're meant to be with, let's just say right now where you're that unhealed version, this person who's you're supposed to be with they could challenge you, right? In terms of like a need for you to level up, a need for you to heal. And if you're not prepared to do that work on yourself and, you know, don't know how to heal or avoid certain things, then we can certainly sabotage a connection. We're just not ready for it, right? So this is where this time for you to spend alone and to work on your healing and to discover your authentic self without all the trauma, without all the baggage, without all the limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging thoughts about love and self. This is where you release them. This is where you go through this rebirth process and come into union within the self. Learn to feel attractive, magnetic. Learn to love yourself where you can attract in the right partner for you. The partner that is going to bring about a balanced, harmonious energy for you. So I want to ask Spirit here for a little bit more information on who this person might be. Some of you, this could also be a water sign. Okay, we've got Gemini, Virgo, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius. So Spirit, who is the person? Tell us a little bit about the person that group 2 is meant to be with. And I definitely feel with us having the 2 of Cups and the Lovers card here, that it is going to be a person who's also worked on themselves. Okay? A person who has also taken time to heal. A person who has worked on their self-esteem, worked on their confidence, worked on being an emotionally stable and available partner. King of Wands. Okay. So again, we got fire sign energy here. This could be a person who has, I mean, feeling very attractive, first off, okay? We have both the Queen and the King of Wands here, so I'm definitely feeling it's a soulmate for you. This person's going to be very empowered, a person who is a very strong leader, a person who is very goal-oriented, ambitious, gets things done, very creative, very passionate. They may take very good care of their body, their physical appearance. They could be very sexy, okay? Maybe very attractive with their appearance and the way that they carry themselves, the way that they walk, the way that they talk, the way that they dress. They catch a lot of attention, okay? They could be a person who inspires others just by being them. It doesn't even need to be something that they do for a living, but they could just have this very magnetic energy that draws people to them, to notice them. They stand out in a crowd where people are just like, wow, that person's inspiring. The King of Wands is a great leader. The King of Wands is about forging your own path, paving your own path. Meaning that this person kind of marches to the beat of their own drum. They're not doing what everybody else is doing. They're kind of doing their own thing and doing it well. Okay? They could be a person who is very talented, extremely creative, very charismatic, very confident. Okay? Who is this person that is the one? We've got the 7 of Cups. The 9 of Wands. Yeah, there's something about this person's energy that does not quit. It does not give up. They have a dream. They have a desire. I feel like they have a very vivid imagination of things that they wish to accomplish within their life. And they're the type of person who's not going to stop when there's an obstacle. Okay? They could also be a person who has gone through a lot. And there's a lot of resilience that kind of comes through with this person's energy. I'm noticing there's a cat up here on this person's shoulder. So maybe for some of you, it could be a person who does have a cat, or likes cats, has pets. Maybe some of you, this person is someone who does have facial hair, a beard, dark hair. Wow, Four of Wands. Wow. Some of you, I'm getting, this could be a person that you do meet at some kind of celebration or event, because the Four of Wands can be a party, a reunion, a gathering of some kind, going to a wedding or some kind of reunion, maybe even like an outdoor kind of like concert, or a place where people go to engage with others, have fun. Some kind of event, could even be a work event. Okay. It feels like power couple energy. Ace of Swords. I feel like this person will be someone who's very honest. They communicate with you in a very clear way, very direct. Some of you, I'm getting, this person could be someone who has some kind of public recognition. Maybe it means they do something with social media or with media. Sometimes the Queen and King of Wands can have jobs that are like in the industry, whether that's music or film, maybe something having to do with like events. Okay. They could even be a person who speaks publicly at events, like a person who inspires people in some regard. They could be a person who is an entrepreneur, a person who owns their own business. We have the Nine of Swords here. This person has a very protective energy, or will have a very protective energy over you. The connection between you and this person is going to be very intense, very passionate. Okay? There's going to be a very strong attraction that you have to this person. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles energy. This is a person who's self-made, okay? So again, going back to the entrepreneurship, or a person who is kind of like at the top when it comes to if they do work for someone else. They could be like executive level, like at the top, okay? Executive or like very high management. Or they could be someone who does own their own business. The Nine of Pentacles is about being self-made, financially secure, financially independent type of person. Okay. They kind of take their success into their own hands. They do their own thing. I do feel like this person is someone who's very intelligent. They're very quick-witted. They're very well-spoken. They've got a great sense of humor. There's something very magnetic about this person's energy, okay? This person's a very powerful manifester. This person has a very loving and giving heart. They're going to be a very emotionally supportive partner. A person who's very nurturing, sensitive, kind. They could have a job in communication. Some of you, this could be a healthcare worker. Counseling, therapy, anything having to do with art or creativity, creative expression types of fields, acting, singing, performing, social working, some type of healer, physical therapy. I'm getting even like a physical trainer, okay? A person who works on body fitness, anything having to do with like the fashion industry. Some of you, this is a person who's health related fields, nurses, doctors, Counselors, therapy, physical therapist, yeah, very powerful manifester. Okay. They could be a person, I'm seeing the Knight of Wands at the bottom here, a person who loves traveling, loves trying new things, loves exploring. Again, a very ambitious, motivated. For some of you, this could be a person who, there's the beard again. For some of you, some of you very tall, okay? A very tall person. Dress is really nice. The King of Pentacles can be a person who does work in banking, investments, real estate, anything having to do with house, home, a chef, gardening. I mean, they could be a person who owns like a landscaping business, architecture, even any types of blue collar trades or jobs. Okay, like a person who works construction, plumbing, what is there? Concrete work, electrical, things of that nature. Okay, they're going to be a person who's also maybe really good with their hands, building things, making things. The type of person who could fix things, okay? Like if the dishwasher is broken, you can have this person be like, hey, can you fix the dishwasher? Can you fix the refrigerator? Can you fix the air conditioning? They would be the type of person with the King of Pentacles energy who could build you something. Like you want something in the backyard, you want a table and chairs, I got it. Something like that. Or a person who works, like I said, in finance or some type of business, insurance, okay, anything having to do with like I said, money, finances, real estate. The King of Pentacles is also extremely practical, very resourceful type of person, very disciplined, committed, okay, to whatever it is that they do, whether it's their career or a relationship. They're a person who's loyal, a person who is going to provide security, stability for you. Some of you, it is financial security, okay? Could be a person who's very wealthy. We have the 9 and 10 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles here. So a person who's very well established in their career. Okay. So for some of you, like I said, it makes sense. Like if you do meet a person who's, you know, in well established in their career, oftentimes that is something that happens in our 30s, right? Sometimes even our 40s, where you find a person who's just like, they've got their life together. So you've got to have yours together too, right? We want to, because this is power couple energy here. So you're the best version of yourself. So are they. You guys are a match, right? So looking at that first, those first cards that we had down, remember all of that healing, all of that heavy energy that you're working through. We want to clear this away, right? We want to work on you being the best version of you to prepare yourself energetically for this person. It's worth it, right? To find and connect with that right person who's going to match your energy and all the work that you've been putting into yourself, right? You can't have someone who's not willing to do the work or who's not supportive and not, you know, giving you the security and stability that you need. By you taking that time to work on yourself, you know, it leads you to better partners that are going to be able to sustain and know how to work through conflict and how to emotionally support you and to, you know, be a stable partner that you can count on, someone that's dependable, like the King of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, group 3. So those of you that resonated with the orange calcite, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out, have you already met the one, and the one being the person that you're meant to be with. If the answer is no, we're going to be asking Spirit when that might happen for you and who they are, a little bit about who they are. If the answer is yes, we're still going to ask Spirit who they are, because some of you might be like, who? Who, if I've already met this person? And we're going to ask also, when will you connect with them? Okay. So let's take a look at what Spirit says for you, group number 3. So have you already met the one? We have card number, what is this? 15. It says practice compassion, see things from a fresh perspective. We have craftsmanship, number 14. It says empower yourself with the knowledge that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. And we have nature. Okay. I already kind of feel I know what the answer is, but we're going to pull the tarot and see. Okay, group number 3. Have you already met the one you're meant to be with? Have you already met the one you're meant to be with? Group 3. Five of Swords. Page of Wands. Knight of Swords. Eight of Cups. Okay. Page of Swords. Knight of Cups. I think I have to cover her a little. Knight of Cups. Okay. And then I'm seeing the Nine of Wands is at the bottom. I kind of feel like the answer is no, okay? Because I feel like what Spirit is showing here is that there may have been some very challenging and very short-lived connections. Or even because, you know, of course, we can meet multiple people in our life that are significant, that we might even... I mean, I'm on marriage number 2, okay, first off. My first marriage connection lasted 20 years, and the marriage that I'm in right now is going on year number 9. So it's very possible, even if you do get married and you find yourself going through a divorce or in a long-term relationship and you break up, for you to find love again, okay? And it kind of makes me feel that there has... maybe for some of you been some very challenging connections that you've gone through. Connections that have become toxic that you had to walk away from. Maybe not wanting to, because you may have been very much loving the person or caring about them, but kind of like having no other choice but to move on from them and separate yourself from them. Some of you, I'm seeing these are very short, intense connections that kind of fizzled out, and having a person who maybe their actions were very deceiving and betrayed you into thinking that it would be something that would be more long lasting. Some of you could have even had to deal with people who betrayed or lied, had some type of manipulative behavior. I'm even seeing a lot of toxic energy here, okay? Addictions is here. So maybe having to separate yourself from a person who had some issues going on there. Even a person who's aggressive, a person who's not very nice, not treating you very nicely. Okay. The Five of Swords can talk about really toxic energies that we're dealing with people, a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting, arguing. It could be trust issues, okay, that could have happened on either side. People that abandon. It just kind of overall feels like not some good situations that you guys have had to encounter, and I'm really sorry that you've had to experience things like this. Very painful. I'm feeling a lot of lessons, that have come from these things, and maybe even connections that may have catalyzed a lot of your healing, a lot of your self-discovery. I'm seeing that some of you, the connections and experience that you may have had in the past may have also made you very defensive. Even having your own trust issues. It may even make some of you at a point right now where you feel like you don't, of course, who wants to get hurt? But like growing bitter, okay, for some of you growing bitter, where some of these challenging situations have changed you in terms of your heart space. They might make you a little bit more detached, or you're afraid to let love in, or even feel comfortable with expressing your own heart and your own feelings. And I feel like a lot of the connections that you could be dealing with or have dealt with in the past have been very challenging. There could have been a lot of immaturity from others that you may have had to deal with. A lot of very impulsive energy. Even some of you that may have gone through trauma bonding with people. Calling it love when it was anything but that, with the way that people may have treated you or talked to you. Could have been in the beginning something that was very exciting, very passionate, very intense, maybe even very fast moving, but then finding that maybe a person betrayed you by their actions. Maybe, again, like I said, kind of putting you in a position where you had no other choice but to leave, or another person who just leaves, abandons. Yeah, just a really challenging energy that I'm seeing kind of coming through here. So, I mean, your craftsmanship card here says empower yourself with the knowledge that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. That card does remind me a lot of the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is about self-mastery. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is when we are very wounded. Okay. Here you look like looks like she's either like trying to sit down for a second to take a break, or she's trying to rise. She's trying to stand up again. The Nine of Wands is when we really have gone through it. Okay. We've been through the ringer. So we might be a little bit weary. The Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior card of the tarot. We've been through it. Energetically, had connections that probably have broken you down. broken you open, in a sense, energetically, to do a lot of healing, put you through a lot. And maybe even, I'm seeing the Nine of Swords energy here too, which could certainly creating a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety, a lot of, even for some of you, worrying about people leaving you, abandoning you, being rejected, causing you to overthink, getting your head a lot, worrying about stuff, constantly like being on the defense, worried if someone's gonna hurt you again. Trying to get noticed. I'm noticing how this Page of Wands here is like she's like, hey, so maybe even having people disappear on you. I'm getting like just manipulation, okay, with the Five of Swords, manipulation, feeling defeated, finding yourself in toxic situations. But I know that some of you have taken this energy and have really, it probably has been a catalyst for you to really start to work on your healing and really opening up and softening to love again. But, the Knight of Swords is kind of like the warrior that rushes into battle, So some of you could, get very excited, even like with a new person that you connect with, and you might start to overthink. You might start to fall for somebody very fast, and because it's intense and it's all just kind of moving. But then again, you might find where people's actions are just kind of showing you like a different side of them, where you're just let down. I feel like let down time and time and time again, and just like, okay, when is this gonna stop? When is it my time? So with the practicing compassion here, see things from a different perspective, it can be hard for us to open up our heart again after love, because we might be harboring so much resentment, especially with the Five of Swords here, anger, resentment from past, even if it's not just romantic partners, but stuff that we could have gone through in childhood, with parents, or with anybody that we could have had around in our life at that time. Okay. And some of you, I feel like, that chose this pile, you've had it rough. And so it can be hard, right, to be compassionate and to have empathy, especially if that is not something that was, I'm getting chills right now, something that has not been given to us by people, where it was so quick for them, others, to hurt you or to cut you down, or to, kind of have this mentality of, some of you, I'm getting like having connections where both of you are hurt and wounded and end up hurting each other, and it just being chaos. Some of you could have also fallen for people that were very, very flighty, just kind of coming in and romancing you with that Knight of Cups energy and just telling you everything that you wanted to hear. Where it kind of maybe wanted, put you in that place where you wanted to just kind of open your heart and be vulnerable again, only again to find yourself in a similar situation that you have been in the past, to the point again where you're just like, I don't know if I can trust people. I don't know if I can let my guard down anymore. So I'm going to clarify this Knight of Cups, but I do feel like the answer is no, okay? Hold on one second. Okay, had to take a little break because my daughter called me, but we're going to clarify this Knight of Cups. What is this Knight of Cups energy? The Seven of Swords. Okay, yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, you might find yourself in situations with people who may come across as very charming, romantic, but have not the best intentions with that Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is about being sneaky. It's about betrayal, cheating, lying, manipulation. It's also, maybe for some of you, even dealing with people who are avoidance. Okay. Let's see. Some of you might literally, like I said earlier, have trust issues surrounding vulnerability, or find yourself in connections with people who are that way. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so it could be that people that kind of give you this impression that they are going to reciprocate your energy, and you're finding that they don't. So there may be, you know, some lessons of the heart that you may have gone through, like I said, that have been very challenging. And maybe even connections that have really brought lessons forth about teaching you what your worth is, what you're receiving from someone, and whether or not it is matching the amount of energy that you are putting into the connections. Yeah. So, you know, the answer is no. I don't feel like you've met the one yet. Okay. I feel like a lot of the connections have, again, been challenging, have put you through a lot. Let's ask Spirit here. Actually, let's clarify this Eight of Cups first. And then we're going to ask Spirit when let's see, Eight of Cups, we've got the Four of Swords. Three of Cups. I mean, some of you might even find yourself, or not all of you, but some of you might find yourself in like third-party situations. People who, you know, or end up leaving for a third party, or even the feelings of like not being chosen, or people who are making other areas of their life a priority versus you. People that are, you know, spending time with friends and partying and, you know, going out and having fun. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if like it's leaving you in a place where you're, you know, wanting connection and reciprocity and something that's stable and secure, and people are not taking the connection seriously, you know, people who are treating it as more casual. This could be finding yourself in situations like situationships, friends with benefits, things that don't really move into a stable, secure relationship. I feel like there's definitely a lack of grounding energy here. Okay, so let's ask Spirit here, when are you going to meet the one? Some of you, I am feeling you're needing to work on healing into a more secure attachment style, okay? Because I'm kind of seeing here there could be a little bit of an for some of you, an anxious attachment style, which could make you very clingy, or needy even, or even avoidant, okay? Avoiding yourself or dealing with avoidance. I'm even seeing a disorganized, okay? Disorganized attachment, otherwise known as a fearful avoidant, okay? Okay, let's see. We have the Sun. So when are you going to meet the one? Yeah. Three of Pentacles. I'm seeing fearful, avoidant, dismissive, avoidant, anxious. We've got the Three of Pentacles here. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So there is work here that Spirit is saying that you're working on. It almost kind of feels like you're rebuilding your foundation. Okay. Now, like I said, some of you, this could be, I'm noticing this pentacle is broken also in three pieces. But your upbringing is your foundation, okay? Depending on what kind of life you've had growing up, your parents or your caregivers are your foundation. Also, the relationship experiences that you've had, you know, can be ones that really, like I said earlier, break you down. And to me, this looks like a rebuilding so that you feel more secure within yourself is something that does need to happen first. Okay? That needs to happen first, because otherwise, just like I was telling another pile, we can certainly manifest love and connections into our life regardless of where we are at energetically. However, the unhealed version of us is manifesting love from that place, that energy, that frequency, and everything is energy. Everyone carries a vibration. And if we're wanting something that is more stable, more secure, then we too need to also embody that stable and secure energy. Now, that's not just something that we consciously say to ourselves like, oh, yes, okay, universe, I'm ready for my soulmate. I'm ready for a stable, secure relationship. It is something where we have to go a layer deeper than that. We have to go into the subconscious. We have to go into the limiting beliefs, any conditioning from our childhood and from past relationships that we need to work through, that we need to revisit how those experiences have shaped us into the person that we are today. And that could be inner child healing. It could be shadow work that is necessary. So the way that this looks to me is where Spirit is wanting you to really work towards rebuilding your foundation of who you are, right? Bring yourself into that state. And here we have the Eight of Pentacles right there. That's what I was talking about earlier with the craftsmanship. The Eight of Pentacles is about self-mastery, okay? It's getting better, right, at what we're doing, at the version of ourselves that we are. Some of you, 38 could be significant. Okay, maybe meeting the one when you are 38. 3 and 8 could be significant. But with the sun energy here, the sun is life force energy. This is joy, happiness, feeling vibrant, feeling alive, genuinely being happy. So this may also be where you're needing to find happiness within the self and not looking to a connection to bring you happiness, meaning where you're looking outside of yourself for joy or happiness. You need to first find that from within the self. Okay? You know, the sun is also an energy of enlightenment, of success, of abundance. It's also connected to our solar plexus. Leo energy, this is about your confidence. This is about how powerful you feel. Again, this better version of yourself. Some of you, this partner coming into your life, and of course this is a general reading, it's going to be very different for all of you, but some of you this could be as soon as 3 years. Some of you it might be a little bit longer. It might be 8 years that you're waiting. Okay? Mastery comes with time, with commitment, with dedication to putting in the work in. And oftentimes when we're triggered in connections, we're not wanting to do the work. We're not ready to do it. We might run from it. We might avoid it. We might feel like, okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to heal. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And that's where, you know, seeking help could be helpful. Going to counseling, going to therapy, having people around you that are supportive, people to talk to, people to express your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions with. Surrounding yourself with people who are going to uplift you versus bring you down. Taking a class, because the Eight of Pentacles is also about skills and hobbies and things of that nature. The Three of Pentacles is a card of community and collaboration. So some of you, this could be needing to collaborate with more like-minded people, maybe people who are on a path of healing and growth. You know, it doesn't mean that people have to be perfect and they have to be completely healed, but they can certainly be on that path of healing and at that place where they're ready to do the work and not running and avoiding it, right? And I'm sure you've met people in your life where you've connected, whether friend, or family member even, or romantic partner, or coworkers even, bosses that we have sometimes, where you kind of notice certain things about their patterns and their behaviors and, you know, the way they think, speak, and act, and you're just like, wow, you know, that person, you know, needs to heal. They need to work on themselves. They need to, you know, be better. And so I feel like engaging with other people can certainly be something that helps you to give you the tools that you need, especially because I've been there too, where, you know, in my life where I didn't know how to heal. I didn't know the first thing about healing. It just, the amount of trauma that I went through seemed insurmountable. And I did not know the first thing about healing. I didn't even ask for help. You know, and sometimes we do need that help. We do need another person to guide us in some way. So this could be even encouraging you to, you know, do that if you feel, especially like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to even where to begin with all of this. I will say that self-reflection is important, you know, and oftentimes we don't want to look at ourselves. We don't want to see the things that we have to work on, or we don't even acknowledge them. We don't see how we're too kind of bringing in certain energies or certain thought patterns into situations that could be unhealthy for us or keeping us lingering into certain situations longer than we're meant to. So, like I said, some of you, this is about finding that source of happiness from within, you know, feeling good, feeling positive, feeling optimistic, feeling abundant, feeling worthy of that. So some of you, like I said, I'm seeing 3 years, 8 years for some of you. Yeah, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. Okay, Queen of Pentacles is about security. It is about stability. It's very grounded energy, which is very different than what we're seeing down here. Okay. This requires a lot of our effort, a lot of our work, a lot of our consistency and dedication to feeling more secure within the self. And of course, not depending on someone else to be our source of security, right? This is where you are building, rebuilding. Like I said, some of you, it looks, we've got a broken pentacle there. Okay. Some of you, I do feel, yeah, 2028 for some of you. The next 3 years, and we're 2025 right now. So by 2028, okay, or maybe for some of you, like I said, it could be literally when you're 38 years old. Now I want to ask Spirit here when, or I'm sorry, who this person is. Who is this person that you are meant to be with? This may also come at a time in your life when you are more established in your career or very financially secure, stable. Some of you, this might be during a time, especially for those of you that are feeling called to a path of entrepreneurship. This may be like when you're starting that path, okay, of entrepreneurship, because the Three of Pentacles can be a collaboration. The Eight of Pentacles, both of these actually can be about work. So this may be surrounding career for you. I don't necessarily, I don't know if it's surrounding like a change in your career. But this can definitely be like on this path of abundance when you're really kind of flowing in a very good way financially, feeling really secure in your job. Perhaps even after finishing school, for those of you that are in school, and you start working and you start to be more established there, and you're feeling good, you're feeling positive, everything is coming together for you. That could be a time in your life that happens as well. So let's see, who is this person, group 3, that you're meant to be with? Who is this person? Who are they? Three of Pentacles can also be about expansion and growth because it is connected to Empress energy. So expansion and growth of your career. Who is this person that you're meant to be with for group 3? We have the Four of Cups. We have the World. Nine of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands. Some of you, this person could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We've also got Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus. I'm getting Sagittarius energy here. Who is this person? Magician. This is Gemini and Virgo energy. And we have the Three of Wands. Some of you, I feel like this person right now, or even when you meet them, they could live in a different country than you, a different city, a different state, or they might even be a different, I want to say even like a different culture. They could be a foreigner, okay, for some of you. A foreigner. Some of you, when you meet them, they could be someone who's at a distance, okay? So there might be some type of travel or moving or relocation that is required. It could even be you who is moving, right, to a new place, a new city, a new country, a new state. And that could even be coming at a time when you're feeling unfulfilled or unhappy and you're just kind of like wanting a whole new fresh start. And you're deciding to journey and to travel to a place that you've always wanted to live at, or like I said, maybe for some of you, relocation with work, career. But I do feel like this person will be someone who is very intelligent, someone who is a very big picture thinker. Someone who, for some of you, this person's very chatty. Okay, they like to talk a lot. They're definitely somebody who has a lot of dreams and goals. They're very ambitious, very charismatic, very passionate, very driven to succeed. They could be someone with the Nine of Pentacles energy here who is very financially independent. They could be someone who is an entrepreneur, self-made, very secure within themselves. Okay, which interesting is because when we first put your first set of cards down, that was very insecure energy. Okay, so this is where you working towards rebuilding, right? Your foundation is something that's more secure is going to be helpful, because otherwise, if this person is super secure and you're not, you may end up sabotaging, right? Because your insecurities might get in the way, or your fears, or trust issues, or fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, where it might kind of end up sabotaging. So this is where you're working again towards becoming that better version of self to match this person energetically with what they're bringing to the table. You're able to offer the same, right? Because I'm sure you've had those times too where you've been the more healed person, and then you look at another person who hasn't done their healing and you're just like, I can't do this. They're not willing to grow, they're not willing to evolve. And this person could certainly look at you in the same way, like, ooh, group 3 hasn't done the healing yet. This could be challenging. And it's not to say that this person can't be a good support system to bring about an energy of safety and security here for you to heal, but you also have to want to. You have to want to grow out of those patterns, want to grow out of and work on changing, right? Otherwise, it becomes a situation where the same issue keeps popping up over and over and over again. And it's kind of like you're not able to grow and evolve with each other. And it becomes more of an obstacle that sometimes we decide, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. So I do feel like this person will be someone who also loves traveling. Okay. They might like to just try new things, do new things. They could even be someone who right now is feeling a little bit unfulfilled and wanting to explore and to go to new places, move. I do feel like this person will be someone who's very creative. Their energy can also be very magnetic and very inspiring. I do feel like this person will be a very powerful manifester. Someone who, I want to say their career is going to be something that's a focus for them. Career, money, financial security and stability. A person who plans things and who's very consistent, committed, and dedicated to what they do. Some of you, this person could work in some form of communications with what they do for work. Again, I'm getting entrepreneurship here. Somebody who owns their own business. Someone who's very creative. And creativity can go in so many different directions. They're going to be a person who's very attractive. Okay. And it could be their physical appearance. They could be somebody who takes really good care of their body. Wears really nice clothing. Dresses themselves well. Grooms. I do feel like this person is someone who is a free spirit at heart. They don't like to, it feels like very Sagittarius energy. They like to expand and grow. They're not going to be the type of person who likes to just stay in one place or with one thing. They don't like stagnancy. So they're going to be someone who's wanting to constantly grow and wanting someone to grow with them, to try new things, to travel, to, just kind of enjoy life to its fullest. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. So I'm going to clarify a little bit more. Some of you could meet this person online, okay? Some type of online community. Why is the Magician here? We have the Queen of Cups. I'm going to cover her a little bit. Some of you, this person could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It could be someone who does work healthcare career. Two of Cups. Yeah, some of you, I'm getting a person who is a foreigner, okay? A person who is a different culture than you, maybe different values, different upbringing. Lots of passion, lots of attraction. This person is going to be someone who's a very good emotional support system for you. Very loving, very nurturing, very sensitive. They have a big heart. They're very caring, very compassionate. It's interesting though, because you have practice compassion up here. Practice compassion. I mean, this might be a person who, when you meet them, they're someone who comes across as very warm and loving and kind and compassionate towards you. And again, you could be somebody who comes in with some wounds. And so that person could be someone who does, not that it's their job to heal you, right? Or you to heal them, but they could be the person who loves you the way that you need to be loved, to show you what love and care and empathy and compassion really is, and what it means to be a very emotionally supportive partner. Not someone who's just going to run off and avoid your feelings, or that they hurt your feelings or anything like that. They're going to be someone who is, sensitive to that, kind with the way in which they speak to you, even during those times where you could have conflict, where the person is going to be more understanding, a good listener, okay? Even during the difficult emotions, when things get hard. This person might be someone who also inspires you, or you inspire them. Like you guys might have like a lot of creative ideas that you share with each other. Why is this Four of Cups here? Judgment. So every time I see this card, it reminds me of the Fool, but it's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting a very, like, an energy from this person that just, like, they like change. They like the freedom. They're very free-spirited energy. They don't like that feeling of stagnancy. They don't. I'm looking at this Five of Wands here, and it kind of looks like she's trapped. It just, like I said, it reminds me of a lot of like very Sagittarius energy. But we have the Ten of Pentacles here at the bottom with the Hierophant. I feel like this will be the person that you do end up, for some of you, if marriage is something that you want, marriage and family, could be this person. Or if that's, not necessarily what you want. The Hierophant is about traditional types of commitments. So that would be like moving in with somebody, building a life with someone, buying a house, family, and whatever that means to you, whether it's children or fur babies. For some of you, this person could be someone who's going through the rebirth process. Some of you, I'm also getting a spiritual energy. So this could even be a person who's like a light worker. a person who's a teacher, okay? Even a person who, religion, spirituality could be a big part of their life. Family could be something that's very important to them. They're going to be a person who has some very traditional values. For some of you, there might be some differences with, like I said, culture or religion. Okay? Some differences there. Some of you, I'm also getting, this might be a more of a blended family situation, where like if you are someone who has children and they have children and the two of you decide to be together, there's a blended family here. Some of you might meet this person through your family. Okay. If arranged marriage is something that is in your culture, that could also be an influence here of family and being involved in helping you to find this person or connect with this person. For some of you, this could be a person who does have children already. Okay. Or if you have children already, then, you know, this person would be a good fit for this connection to parent with you. I'm getting like a very fiery energy from this person, very charismatic and very like motivated and driven and like, let's go, let's do this. Like, just kind of like the person who's up for anything, you know? Like if you have an idea and say, hey, do you think we should do this? Yes, let's go, let's do this. You know, a person that just kind of like wants to go. They're a person who, for some of you, could be competitive, okay? They want what they want and they're going to get it. No matter what kind of obstacles stands in their way, they're going to find a way to overcome it and move through it. They like the challenge. They don't like drama, okay? No drama. They just want a calm, peaceful, good life. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're at a place in their life where they're just like wanting to be just like drama free, none of that heavy stuff. Like this person has worked hard to get to where they are at, with being free of just heavy things to deal with, you know. And I'm sure after what you've gone through too, it's like you don't want any of it either, you know, where things can just be just very harmonious, balanced, smooth, calm, peaceful, building a life with each other, just healthy, long-term, stable life partner energy. Okay. That's what I'm getting from this. All right, so that is all that I have for you, group 3. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one.